Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the scheduling video. This is the first time ever action to try to get everybody the same message when it gets, hey, the light, I'm over here. Right there. That's that a boy. That's what you get with rookie help. The video for the 2020-2021 scheduling season is now available for all of you students to watch online. What we have today is information that the guidance office has put together to help you understand the basics for getting started with creating your class schedule. So we're going to go through several slides today. The video will be posted online, and we're going to make it part of the resources that we have on our webpage. And we hope that you can find it helpful. Also encourage you to spend the next 3 to 4 weeks contacting people and making conversation about what your courses will look like. If you're going to start at Springboro High School next year as a freshman, we're going to come and visit you. We'll come and see you sometime around March the 3rd, and we're going to talk to you about what it takes to get scheduled at the high school. There's a lot of panic that sets in with the young kids, and we want to settle all those nerves and make sure we're making some pretty sound decisions. So all of this information can be found on the guidance office webpage. To get there, we want to start going to the school's webpage, go to the high school webpage, and then ultimately find yourself on SHS Guidance, which is right down on the bottom left corner over there, and then you get this page. All of our scheduling information will be posted there, and you'll be able to find that relatively easy. So for directions, there's a web address and the breadcrumb line for you to follow to get that taken care of. Moving forward, probably the most important document for you to have access to is the program of studies. The program of studies is put together every year. The teachers in the building review all of the courses that we're going to have, or that we're going to offer to the students. We're going to make sure that it reads in such a way to describe for you what the courses are, but also what the courses sequence into as you go up a grade level. We know that each one of you are interested in graduating from high school. So all of the information and all of those little tricky little codes and steps that you have to go through and boxes that you have to check off, those are all going to be covered in the program of studies. In addition to that, there's information about ACT testing, there's information about NCAA eligibility, and some of you are going to want to pursue that as you get to be sophomores and juniors in high school. And then there's also information about graduation and diploma options moving forward as well. So those things are all available on the program of studies. The most important feature for you to know about today is when you look at this document online, each one of the classes and then one of the disciplines is going to have a chart, and it's going to lay out what classes are available and required for you to take in your 4 years of high school to earn your diploma. So for example, in the math department, you are expected to take 4 math classes over 4 years. If you have taken algebra in junior high school, then you've met one of those requirements, and now you only need 3 math classes in high school. And the math department has created that grid to help you understand what options are available for you. In addition to that, under each class, it will give you a little blue segment that will show you what the prerequisites are for being in that classroom. So we encourage you to look at that. It's a good piece to show your parents so you can have good conversation about what classes are next to you. New for next year, we have mainly course title changes for next year, not actually course content changes. So the business department has changed. Instead of offering entrepreneurship, which has been a business credit for the last several years, they're now just going to offer the class as Introduction to Business. And that class meets the same standards and outcomes that entrepreneurship has done for the last several years. The music department is now offering a semester of AP music. That is a semester class that's going to be created if we have enough students enrolled for that. Teacher Academy is offering some introductory level teaching courses for students that might be interested in pursuing an education program. The Teacher Academy is one of those satellite programs offered to us from the Career Center, and it is an additional 2 years as a junior and senior of commitment to specific classes that are designed to help you start understanding the domains and the rigors and the requirements for becoming licensed as a teacher in Ohio. The programming and software department, formerly known as the IT department, Mrs. Kennard has worked diligently over the last couple of years to put together a sequence of courses that are matriculated through the UC Early IT program. Long story, the students can, over 4 years of high school, follow those course guidelines and actually finish their freshman year of college before they enter the University of Cincinnati. Now, it's not specific to just Cincinnati, but that is the accrediting program that the software program is designed around. So there are a sequence of courses that you want to check out in the program of studies. Project Lead the Way, we have 2 departments of Project Lead the Way. We have the engineering side of things, which now is offering 5 full classes for students at all grade levels, but we also added the biomedical science program several years ago, and this year Mrs. Goodwin is going to add the 4th class. Unfortunately, that is for seniors only, because there's a sequence of prerequisite courses that need to be taken and met prior to you getting into what is called biomedical innovation. Computer science, and essentially this is the old DMA program, and Mr. Galloway is marrying this in agreement to what the Career Center offers as digital design. So if currently you are in DMA 1 as a junior in our building, or you have taken Introduction to Digital Media Arts, a semester class, the next course for you, if you're interested, is now called Digital Design. It is not Digital Media Arts any longer. Credits are the same. Family and Consumer Sciences are going to make things a little more efficient for them with their course offerings. Housing and Interior Design will replace a class that is simply called Interior Design for this year. And then Social Studies, for those of you that have been in the building for this school year, Mrs. Frank started a class called Abnormal Psych, and that is morphing itself more into a human development class and human abnormality class. So that's going to focus on the adjustment that we go through as we go through different growth and development stages in our lives. So she's very excited about that. So a couple basic points of emphasis for our new people graduating from high school, from Springboro High School specifically, requires 2 credits. A credit is completing a class. So if I take a class, the class lasts all year, then that's 1 full credit. If I take a class and it lasts only a semester, then that class is going to be a half credit. And so we have all of those listed for you: 4 years of English or 4 units of English, 4 math, 3 in the science department, 3 in social studies. Confusion always comes up and pops up when we talk about PE, and we'll come back to that in a few minutes. A semester of health, a full credit of fine art, a half a credit of fine art financial literacy, and then another confusing section, you are required to have 5.5 credits of electives. So I'll come back to that in just a few moments, but we want to move ahead with what those requirements specifically refer to. First of all, in mathematics, you have to at least earn credit up to Algebra 2. So if you come to the high school and you have already taken Algebra 1 in junior high, you'll likely go to geometry in 9th grade, Algebra 2 in 10th grade, and then you'll move on to pre-calculus, and eventually maybe even the higher math as a senior. But if you're starting Algebra 2 here at if you're starting Algebra 1 here at the high school in 9th grade, then you will have to take geometry, Algebra 2, and then your 4th math class as a senior. Similar steps in science, even though it's 3 credits. The second credit the majority of our students take is biology. However, our students that have been enriched or some of the more advanced accelerated science might start in biology in 9th grade, then they are required to take 2 additional science classes that are above biology. Social studies requires world history, requires American history, and requires government. And those are 3 very specific options that have to be taken in order to earn your diploma. And finally, let's talk about phys ed. So phys ed includes 2 semesters or a quarter credit, 2 semesters that are a quarter credit each, or 2 PE waivers. And when we talk about PE waivers, sorry about that, I jumped ahead one. PE waivers become a bit of a conversation piece because a lot of students get confused as to what that means. PE waivers are completed by participating in one of our athletic events or marching band or ROTC. You have to complete 2 years or 2 seasons of those things in order to get your phys ed boxes checked. If you don't, and let's say you only participate in 1 season, then you must take 2 PE classes. So that always creates confusion for people. It's important that you think that through and see how that marries up to the rest of your programs. Well, technical glitch, we're good. So in your classroom this morning, you should be getting course registration materials. You should be getting a course planner, a sheet that offers all the classes, has the name of the classes on it. On the back of it, you'll find a 4-year planner, and then you're also getting login credentials today to log into our system. It's called Dazzle, that will help you find the courses and make your student requests. So if your teacher hasn't given those out to you, those are probably coming now. If you are in the 9th grade, you're going to get a visit by the guidance staff directly to you at school. But we've created a special step-by-step scheduling sheet for you. And all you do is you start and fill in each one of the steps, and it will get you to where you belong when it comes to scheduling your courses. Moving on, the sophomores, the juniors, all have the exact same sheet. They're different only in what courses are available. The idea here is to follow the instructions. The instructions are pretty easy. On the left side, put down the name of the class that you are taking this year. So if you are a freshman this year, thank you. If you are a freshman this year, you're going to get the sophomore sheet because you'll be a sophomore, and simply put down the English, the math, the science, the social studies, and any other classes that you've taken. The idea being that talking to my friends, talking to my teachers, I know then what classes I'm going to take next. And so by following the rules over here, thinking through my graduation requirements, I can easily write down the classes that I'm expected to take or that I choose to take. Same for juniors, and same for the senior class. For some of you, setting goals, knowing where you want to be, maybe I want to be a college student, maybe I want to go to the Career Center, those options are available for you, but you have to plan ahead. So we've given you the document that allows you to write down the classes that you've taken and potentially even work from the back end of your existence over here as a senior, the classes that you want to take before you get out of high school and work backwards within your system. That allows you to plan ahead, great conversation piece for your parents, and it also engages you in the ideas that, well, maybe I'm not taking classes that are hard enough for me. Maybe I'm taking classes that are too much for me. Those are all difficult conversation pieces and ones that we need to have with our parents. So then the question always comes up in our office, well, how do I know if I take a standard prep class, a career college prep class, so on and so forth? Basically, here's what it boils down to. You can take whatever level of course you want to take. However, some of you know that you have certain skills and areas that are stronger than they are in others. But it's basic rule of thumb, if I took CP in my first year, I'm probably CP in the same subject for the next year. But these descriptions will allow you to understand how our building has laid out the intensity and the rigor associated with college prep, honors, and AP. And every student in the building should be taking classes that fit them to where they best fit. What is that? Well, from academic advising, we're going to tell you a couple of things. What is the current level you are in right now? If you are absolutely doing nothing and doing very well in the class you're taking, you need to move up a level. That's what being in high school is for. So if I'm in CP now and I'm getting 90s all the time, an honors class or an AP class in that same subject area is probably an excellent idea. If you are not in a CP level class and getting 90s, maybe taking a CP class is the best option for you. Those are conversations to have with the adults in your life. But you should also look at what are you willing to put forward. Everyone in here is capable of putting forth more effort. Budgeting your time, efficiency at home, but what are you willing to tolerate and how bad do you want to work for them? And as you increase those rigorous classes, the expectations of your teachers are going to increase as well. So it's really, really critical for you to talk to parents, talk to your instructors, and understand where your fit is. The last thing that has become an item around our school district is gifted identification. Some of you have been given a letter. It was sent home in December. It was called a WEB. That indicated what areas that you have tested gifted in the past. That is sort of a free ticket for you to be encouraged to take classes that are honors or AP at the high school. Doesn't mean you have to. Let's make sure we understand that. But we always want to encourage you to take classes that are the best fit for you. And sometimes we don't understand what those are because we don't pay attention to what we're willing to put forward. So this is what the web looks like. There's a letter that was sent to your home. Students were handed these copies as well. If you're not sure, then contact the guidance office or contact Mrs. Zimmer and Mr. Wiggins, and they'll be able to help you out. Okay, so the question always comes up, I don't have a gifted identification in math, Mr. Collins, but I want to take Honors Algebra 1. That's great. We're all about that. But we do have some parameters that you need to think through. As long as your grades are meeting the grade prerequisite for a class, or exceeding, then you are more than welcome to take that. And so when you read in the programs of study, you have to meet what those prerequisites are. That may be a specific class, could be a grade level. Now, in addition to that, your parents can override a grade. For example, student comes to my office, taking CP English 1 this year as a freshman. Next year they would like to take Honors English 2, but they are not gifted, don't have that identification in language arts. My conversation starts with, okay, what's your grade in CP English 1? Well, Mr. Collins only got an 85. Okay? Well, let's check the prerequisite grade. Prerequisite grade to take Honors English 2 is a 90. If that's the case, and you still want to take Honors English 2, then we will write your parents and let you know that you're below that benchmark and see if they want to allow you to override into that class. If that is the case, then you're in. Not a problem. We're going to take the month of March to figure that stuff out. It's important to note that students cannot override a course prerequisite. What that means is I can't take pre-calculus unless I have taken Algebra 2. So I can't skip those things, okay? And there are some unique situations that happen. All right, let's get down to the guidelines here of creating your schedule. Minimum requirements. Number one, let's remember we've got 7 instructional periods in a day. At a minimum, the fewest number of classes you can take is 6 if you are a freshman or a sophomore. You have to be scheduled in 6 classes each semester. If you are a junior or a senior, that minimum is 5. That allows us to do really 2 things. For those of us that need to remain eligible, you've met eligibility standards each semester. For those of us that want to graduate, which should be everybody, that allows you to acquire a minimum of 22 credits over 4 years. We thoroughly expect you to be well above 22 over 4 years. But if you meet those minimums, then you will end up with 22 credits exactly. And though it's right on the bubble, get your diploma. Please understand that athletic eligibility does not include phys ed. But if you're playing athletics, phys ed class then doesn't have to be taken. So, a couple other scheduling things. Number one, everybody picks their study hall if they want one. That's part of your day. But you schedule them by semesters. So I pick semester 1 study hall, and I pick semester 2 study hall if I want one for all year long. Now there are some other things that happen as you get older and a little bit more experienced, let's say. But 11th graders can actually schedule 2 study halls per day, which would be 4 study hall requests because they're done by semesters. 2 semester 1s, 2 semester 2s. A little rare for us to see that, but it is something that can be done. Seniors and juniors. Everyone wants to find ways to get their high school schedule a little bit more flexible. So the high school, recognizing that you can have 2 study halls, realizes that spending study hall time here is not always the most productive for you. You've got opportunities outside. So we allow you to sign up for early release or late arrival. Again, those are done by semester, and those are not permitted to be in combination with College Credit Plus. Now, this is not going to be a College Credit Plus conversation. We've already had those meetings, but following those rules are critical for you to get the schedule that you want. So, on my scheduling sheet, these are the things that I should have. 9th, 10th, 11th grade should have something like this. Now, these are demos. Don't think you have to take anything that's listed here. But this is a common schedule layout. And you have to look at things in terms of first semester and second semester. Okay? That way, you get the proper number of classes requested in your day. Do not request a lunch hour. The guidance office will handle that for everyone and make sure that you get a lunch tied into your day. Okay? All right. Remember, eligibility is a conversation all of your coaches have with you, preseason, mid-season, postseason. To be eligible to participate, you have to pass 5 classes, you cannot be failing more than 1, and you must maintain a 67% GPA for that term. 4th quarter grades count for fall eligibility. So the soccer players, the golfers, the boys and girls golfers, the female tennis, cross country, football, those athletes have to be eligible after the fourth quarter. Our mid-year sports, basketball, baseball, wrestling, swimming, lacrosse, they have to be eligible every other quarter. Because of the way that your seasons fall, you don't get a break. So it's important to make sure that you are eligible. CCP eligibility needs to be checked with your coaches and with your guidance counselor. It's more complicated than for this particular session. PE waivers. Truthfully, PE waiver is very simple. I take ROTC, I get a PE waiver. I'm in the marching band, I get a PE waiver. Got to participate in those things. But you request a PE waiver. When you get online and you look at your little codes, type in PE waivers, and it will give you a list of all of those options that you can select. Now, we double check and make sure that you should get those. If you are not on a team, if you do not participate in marching band, if you do not participate in ROTC, you have to take phys ed class. Phys ed class is sometimes more efficient than taking or spending a whole season and an off-season training. That's up to you. But you have to get 2 of anything. 1 class and 1 season of swimming does not count as 2. That is not 2 PE waivers. That is 1 PE waiver and 1 class. You are halfway home with one or the other. So it's very important that you read those rules. There's a list of some PE waiver codes that you can look at. All you gotta search is PEW and those will pull up. College Credit Plus. This is new for this year. I think this is going to help us plan our days. So, in the past, if you've been part-time College Credit Plus, you selected whether or not you wanted to be taking classes at the high school in the morning, and then CCP in the afternoon, or the other way around. CCP in the morning, come to the high school late and finish your day. We are going to ask that you request your day. Now let's be careful to understand this. You are using the codes CCP1, 2, 3, etc. to pick the period of the day you do not want to be at the high school. Let me say that again. I do not want to go to high school after period 4 or 5. Okay? Then you should request CCP 6, CCP 7, CCP 8, 9, and 10. And that will allow us to hopefully create a schedule that will fit to what you hope your calendar looks like. We cannot guarantee that. We cannot possibly guarantee that. But it may help us eliminate some of the controversies that we've run into in the last several years. Of course, if you want to do it CCP full-time, then that code is also available for you to use. So make sure you understand this, and again, if there is confusion, you need to let us know. But you must understand that it is quite possible you have to have lunch and then a 5-6 class, because that's the only time of day that class is offered. So there's nothing you can do about that, but it at least gives us the opportunity to try to help isolate some of those schedules. So here's a perfect example. A senior at the school wants to take Calculus BC, Biology, Psych, and Concert Choir. We would like all 4 of those classes to be periods 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't tell you that AP Calculus BC is going to be period 1. It might be period 4. But you know that you want to be available for CCP classes after period 4 or 5. So I must pick every single period that I would like to be out of the school. Here's the exact opposite of that. This happens to a lot of our music students that are playing in the band. Band's always late today. Okay? I'm taking 3 classes at the school. I'm a junior, taking CP Calculus, CP Pre-Calculus, and I'm taking CP Government and Marching Band. Well, that's periods 7, 8, and 9. Then I want to be CP1 through CP7. CP7. That will push my schedule hopefully to the later in the day, and we can make those accommodations for you. No guarantees, but we'll do the best we can. Okay, summer school is available. We generally run that as soon as school is out in the summer for the first 3 to 4 weeks. The number of classes that we offer is always going to be based on how many students register. We expect registration will start sometime after spring break. That's a first come, first serve. If we run out of seats, honestly, we generally can't add any additional space. Summer school has to fund itself, so we cannot continually add, but look for that information to come out later. All right, schedule changes. So, Mr. Collins, I put in all my requests, but I'm not really sure I'm happy with that. I've talked to some people, I changed my mind. Perfect. That's why we take almost the entire month of March to take care of these things. If that happens, give us a call. But we need you to talk to people. Talk to your teachers about planning. Homeroom time right now, that should be fine. It's a great opportunity for you to have those conversations. Make sure you look at the request list. The course selections are on that sheet. Elective classes can only be offered if we have 21 students sign up for them. So we generally will have to cancel 1 or 2 classes because we don't get enough kids. This PowerPoint presentation will be on the website. In addition to that, directions for how to log into Dazzle and make your class requests is on a separate presentation. And that is going to be available also starting right now. Click on the Scheduling Information tab, enter your username and password. The course request screen will enter or appear. Follow the prompts. Do not submit until you are done. You can log out, log back in, and it will keep everything for you. It's not going to dump it. But as soon as you hit submit, then only changes can be done through the guidance office. Talk to your parents, create a list of classes that you want, go online, make some course requests. Remember, you have to account for 7 periods, 7 instructional periods. We will schedule your lunch. That means study halls, all of the other coursework that you want to do. And it has to be done by March 11th. Contact your guidance counselor. If that's something that you need to do, we will be available. The video is replacing direct meetings with students in classrooms. Hopefully this is something that you find very, very helpful. And if you need our assistance, please don't hesitate, but be patient because we're pretty confident a lot of people are going to want to talk to us. This is what we're here for. Thanks for taking time to listen. Have a great day.